Okay, the next one is systemic drugs. For these systemic drugs that will be getting absorbed into the body, that is oral or intravenous. You know the route of administration of medications by oral and intravenous. Then the factors influencing systemic drug penetration into ocular tissues, like lipid solubility of the drug, that is more penetration with high lipid solubility. Then penetrating protein binding, more effect with the low protein binding, then better penetration into the inflamed eye. So inflamed ఐలో ఏంటంటే వాసో వాస్కులర్ అబ్జార్ప్షన్ అనేది కొంచెం ఎక్కువగా ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ అబౌట్. The next one is um, so the drugs which are used during anti-inflammations, then mydriatics and cycloplegics, and then anti-glaucoma, and then lubricants. So first we will discuss about anti-inflammatory therapy. సో ఇన్ఫ్లమేషన్ అంటే తెలుసు కదమ్మా. సో ఈ ఇన్ఫ్లమేషన్ని ట్రీట్ చేయడానికి వీ విల్ గో ఫర్ యాంటీ ఇన్ఫ్లమేటరీ థెరపీ. సో ఫర్ దీస్ యాంటీ ఇన్ఫ్లమేటరీ థెరపీ దేర్ ఆర్ యూజువల్లీ దీస్ కార్టికోస్టిరాయిడ్స్, ఇది కూడా వినింటారు మీరు ఫ్రీక్వెంట్గా. ఎన్ఎస్ఏఐడిస్, ఇది కూడా నేనే ఫస్ట్లో మీకు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నాను. దెన్ మాస్ట్ సెల్ స్టెబిలైజర్స్, and then immunosuppressive. So all these four types will be used as anti-inflammatory therapy for ophthalmic drugs or drugs used for eye diseases. So first, corticosteroids. These corticosteroids are useful in controlling the inflammatory and immunological diseases of eye. How do they will be administered? That is routes of administration: topical, then periocular, then intravitreal, oral and intravenous. So topical అంటే మనం ఎక్స్టర్నల్గా ఇస్తాము. పెరియాక్యులర్ అంటే ఓపెన్, అంటే ఐలిడ్స్ ఓపెన్ చేసి మనము ఇన్స్టిల్ చేస్తుంటాం కదా. దెన్ ఇంట్రావిట్రియల్ అంటే కంటి లోపలికి వేసేటివి. దెన్ ఓరల్ అండ్ ఇంట్రావీనస్. So their anti-inflammatory and immunosuppressive actions will be like this: inhibition of lymphocytes proliferation with a decrease of the cell mediated immunity. So lymphocytes proliferation ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి న్యాచురల్గా that will inhibit the lymphocytic proliferation. That is more important. Then inhibition of degranulation, this is another action. Inhibition of degranulation of neutrophil granulocytes, then macrophages, mast cells and basophils granulocytes. Then decrease the vascular permeability. వాస్కులర్ పర్మియబిలిటీ అంటే తెలుసు కదమ్మా. సో ఎక్కువ వాసో డైలిటేషన్ ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి అది దాన్ని తగ్గించేస్తుంది. డిక్రీజ్ ద ప్రోస్టాగ్లాండిన్ ప్రొడక్షన్. దెన్ indications అంటే ఏంటి? వేర్ దిస్ మెడికేషన్స్ కెన్ బి యూజ్డ్, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఇండికేషన్స్. సో పోస్ట్ సర్జికల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్స్ ఏమన్నా ఉంటే, పోస్ట్ సర్జికల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్స్ ఉంటే వేయచ్చు. అలర్జిక్ కంజంక్టివైటిస్ అండ్ బ్లెఫరైటిస్, ది ఇన్ఫ్లమేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఐలిడ్స్, బ్లెఫరైటిస్ అంటే. దెన్ వర్నల్ కంజంక్టివైటిస్ కామన్గా వింటుంటారు కదా మీరు. దెన్ disciform and interstitial keratitis, then corneal graft rejections. కార్నియల్ గ్రాఫ్ట్ రిజెక్షన్స్ అంటే కార్నియాని రీప్లేస్ చేసినప్పుడు సమ్టైమ్స్ రిజెక్ట్ చేస్తుంటుంది గ్రాఫ్టింగ్ అనేది. దెన్ స్క్లీరైటిస్ అండ్ ఎపిస్క్లీరైటిస్, యాంటీరియర్ అండ్ పోస్టీరియర్ ఇవైటిస్, దెన్ ట్రమాటిక్ ఇన్ఫ్లమేషన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఐ, దెన్ పాపిల్లైటిస్ అండ్ retrobulbar neuritis, then sympathetic ophthalmia, then herpes zoster ophthalmos, then orbital pseudotumors, then VKH syndrome. Then topical corticosteroids. సో మామూలుగా కార్టికోస్టెరాయిడ్స్ టాపికల్గా మనం ఏమేమి యూస్ చేస్తాము అనేది అవైలబుల్ యాజ్ సొల్యూషన్స్, సస్పెన్షన్స్ అండ్ ఆయింట్మెంట్స్. ఇన్ 3 forms it is available: hydrocortisones, prednisolons, then dexamethasones, betamethasones, then fluoromethalin, then lotoprednol, then difluprednol, pedronate. These are the topical corticosteroids. Then they how do they act as anti-inflammatory means? Example, they have given prednisolone. So these prednisolone acetate will be changed into fluoromethalone acetate, and that will be changed as dexamethasone acetate, and then betamethasone action. Then non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. It has three types of effects. For three types of actions this can be used: anti-inflammatory, analgesics, and then antipyretic. Anti-inflammatory అంటే ఇన్ఫ్లమేషన్స్ తగ్గించడానికి పెయిన్ కిల్లర్, అనాల్సిక్స్ అంటే పెయిన్ కిల్లర్స్, అండ్ దెన్ యాంటీపైరెటిక్. It also inhibits the cyclooxygenase pathways. సో ఇక్కడ ఓరల్ NSAIDs ఇచ్చారమ్మా. సో హౌ డు దే యాక్ట్ అన్నది ఇక్కడ COX ఇన్హిబిటర్స్గా, దెన్ COX2 ఇన్హిబిటర్స్కి ఇచ్చారు, దెన్ పూర్ యాంటీ ఇన్ఫ్లమేటరీకి ఇచ్చారు. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ మాస్ట్ సెల్ స్టెబిలైజర్స్ అండ్ యాంటీహిస్టమిన్స్. So human eye has about 50 million mast cells which contains preformed chemical mediators. So ikkada kinda how do they act వచ్చేసి allergic conjunctivitis. In this case IgE mediated hypersensitivity reaction, and then reaction of mast cell and basophils. This will be acting in three forms: histamines, leukotrienes, and chemotactin factors. These histamines, again capillary dilatation will be there because of these histamines, and because of these capillary dilatations that is going to increase the permeability of the drug. Then the other way of action of these histamines is stimulates the nerve endings, therefore that will have its effect on pain and itching. So here capillary dilatation is going to act on conjunctival injections and swellings. Then immunosuppressives, they are not used as primary therapy. Then cases non-responding to steroids or steroid responders are started having steroid complications. Then avoided in children and pregnant women. Of course, immunosuppressives are used for the children and pregnant women. They are going to have more complications. That is why that has to be they should not be given. Effect may take 1 to 4 weeks to develop, hence initial therapy with corticosteroids is needed. They have given some examples here: azathioprine, cyclosporin, methotrexate. These are the commonly used immunosuppressive medications. Then mydretics and cycloplegics. These mydretics are the drugs which dilate the pupil. They are called mydretics. Then cycloplegics are the agents which causes paralysis of ciliary muscles. So these cycloplegics, they will be used during invasive procedures like surgeries or removal of foreign body when it is deeply inserted. So these mydretics, they are two types: adrenergic agonist, then cholinergic antagonist. Again, adrenergic agonist, There are again two types, adrenaline and phenylephrine. Then cholinergic antagonists, they are tropicamide. So first we will see phenylephrines. 2.5% dilutions it comes. Most commonly sympathomimetic agent can be used. This will act on alpha 1 receptors, alpha 1 receptors and alpha beta receptors, everything. So acts on alpha 1 receptors of dilator PPA. Then indications are when these phenylephrine can be used in case of pupil dilatations, refractions, and before intraocular surgeries. Okay, so ikkada dilatation of pupil undi kabatti these can be used during these conditions. Then contraindications where this cannot be used is hypersensitivity, narrow angle glaucoma, cardiac patients, and elderly patients. Then next comes adrenaline. So this adrenaline acts on dilator fibers and directly produces dilatation after instillation of 4 drops, that is 1:1000 solutions. May be combined with procaine and atropine to achieve mydriasis in severe iritis, inflammation of iris. Then cycloplegic mydriatics, the second type we are discussing. Parasympathetic agents are commonly used, blocks the action of cholinergic stimulation, causing paralysis of accommodation and pupillary dilatation. Indications are refraction, inflammation of uvea, and then malignant glaucoma. Adverse reactions are transient stinging and burning, increase in IOPs, then allergic lid reactions, intraocular pressure, increase in IOP and intraocular pressure, then hyperemia, then flushing and dryness of skin, blurred visions, dryness of mouth and nose, then fever, bladder distensions, and CNS disturbances. Atropine is the most effective cycloplegic, followed by cyclopentolate, that is 1%, and then homatropine 2%, and tropicamide 0.5 to 1%. Then cyclopentolate should not be prescribed in uveitis, and it has chemotactic effect on the leukocytes. Then mydriasis is quickest with tropicamide among all parasympathomimetics. In 20 minutes, within 20 minutes it acts, and is also short at lasting, అంటే 3 hours to 2 hours అట్లా షార్ట్ పీరియడ్ పనిచేస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు 2.5% phenylephrine, selective alpha 1 agonist, along with anticholinergics like tropicamide 0.8% induces the maximum mydriasis. Then topical hypersomatic agents. These agents are helpful in treating corneal edema of diverse etiology. Epithelial edema is more responsive as compared to stromal edema. Then osmotic gradient is created between epithelium and tear film by these agents. Water is then drawn towards the more osmotic compartment and is thus eliminated from the epithelium and stroma. So this is how they act, is like finally that will be eliminated. Ocular lubricants, so available as they will be available in the form of drops, gels, and ointments. So lubrication of eyeball. The indications: protection and lubrication, exposure to keratitis, exposed or exposure keratitis, and decreased corneal sensitivity, recurrent corneal erosions. So this is the way of action. Important artificial tear components will be there. So this is how the hydrogels are are the viscosity enhancing active ingredients of artificial taste. Then they will reduce the risk of bacterial contamination in multi-dose containers and to prolong the shelf life. Example, benzyl conium chloride. Ointments. So drops ointments అని చెప్పుకున్నాం కదా. నెక్స్ట్ ointments. Major advantage is that ointment is retained longer than the solution. ఇంతకుముందు చెప్పుకున్నాం ఇది. Available as petroleums, lanolins, mineral oil topical ointments. Dosage bedtime is preferred, so that is the right time for using ointments. Then solution should be instilled prior to application of ointment. First solution is ointment apply cheste, then that goes for better absorption. Then recent advantages vachesi recent advances, Carbopol 980 contains a gel. It is developed to minimize the blurring and less dose is required. Blurring అన్నది తక్కువ తగ్గిస్తుంది. ఓకే. Then anti-glaucoma drugs. So ophthalmic prostaglandin analogs, one of the important drug, this is used to treat the glaucoma. This prostaglandin analog attenuate the intraocular pressure. IOP is intraocular pressure by improving the outflow of aqueous humor. This aqueous humor, when the pressure is increased because of the increased secretion of aqueous humor, this helps to improve the outflow of this aqueous humor. Prostaglandin analogs will exhibit the agonistic activity on prostaglandin receptors, which promotes which promotes uveoscleral outflow. Then medications within this which belongs to this class, that is prostaglandin analogs, include latanoprost, travoprost, travoprost, then bimatoprost, tafloprost, and anprostone isopropyl. So these topical medications offer the greatest reduction in intraocular pressure. These prostaglandin analogs can cause undesirable cosmetic changes such as brown pigmentation of the iris. So there will be some impact over these organs. So the brown color pigmentation of the iris, discoloration of the eyelids, increased growth or thickness of the eyelashes. So these are the adverse effects. Then other adverse effects include blurred vision, eye irritation, itching, and headache. Then the next one is ophthalmic alpha adrenoreceptor agonists. These alpha adrenoreceptor agonists can be applied topically and decrease production of aqueous humor. So again, when there is increased production, then it helps to decrease this excessive production of aqueous humor. Ophthalmic alpha 2 agonists include bromonidine and apraclonidine. So by activating alpha 2 receptors in the ciliary epithelium, adenylyl cyclase becomes inhibited and cyclic adenosine monophosphate, that is CAMP, is no longer formed. This will hinder the ion transport and thus fluid production. Over time, these medications appear to improve the fluid outflow as well. So excessive fluid will be drained out. Adverse effects can be include contact dermatitis, dry mouth, headache, hypotension, and somnolence. Then use of alpha 2 agonist is contraindicated with concurrent monoamino oxidase inhibitors therapy. Then the next one is ophthalmic beta adrenoreceptor antagonists. So for the treatment of glaucoma, again these beta adrenoreceptor antagonists are advised topically, and this can reduce intraocular pressure by decreasing aqueous humor production. Beta blocker antagonists, the effect of sympathetic neurotransmitters by inhibiting B1 and B2 receptors. However, their mechanistic action in glaucoma is unclear. Examples: Timolol, betaxazole, cartiolol, and levobunolol. Adverse effects are when systematically absorbed, can include bradycardia, hypotension, headache, decreased exercise tolerance, and bronchospasm, but these systemic effects are very rare. So here beta blockers, they are non-selective and selective, P1, B2 and P1. So non-selective, timolol and levobunolol and cardiolol. Then selective B1 is beta 1 is betaxolol. Then ophthalmic carbonic anhydrase inhibitors. These will work by decreasing production of aqueous humor. Carbonic anhydrase is an enzyme that catalyzes the formation of bicarbonate from carbon dioxide and water, vice versa. సో ఇవి ఇక్కడ కింద ఇచ్చినటువంటి ఫార్ములా కొంచెం వైస్ వర్స్ వేసుకున్నామా, CO2 అది స్మాల్ 2 నాకు ఐ డోంట్ నో హౌ టు పుట్ ఇట్ యాజ్ CO2. అది కొంచెం మీరు రాసుకోవడంలో CO2 దట్ ఈస్ కార్బన్ డైఆక్సైడ్ మీకు తెలుసు, H2O అది కూడా 2 అనేది చిన్న లెటర్ వస్తుంది, హెచ్ సైజ్లో రాదు, తెలుసు కదా అది. H2O ఈజ్ వాటర్. అగైన్ వైస్ వర్సా, అంటే బోత్ వేస్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు మార్క్ ద arrow. Then H2CO3, that is carbonic acid. Then HCO3 plus H, and then plus bicarbonate plus ఈ H అంటే ఏంటి, హైడ్రోజన్ అయాన్, HCO3 అంటే బైకార్బోనేట్ అని. సో అది కొంచెం జాగ్రత్తగా వేసుకోండి. 3 అనేది కూడా వెరీ స్మాల్ లెటర్ రావాలా, 2 కూడా H2 అంటే స్మాల్ లెటర్స్, తెలుసు కదా మీకు అది ఫార్ములా. Then systemic anti-glaucoma. So here these oral acetazolamide and glycerin will be very good used as oral form of medications. Then intravenous mannitol, mannitol దీంట్లోనే కాదు, ఆప్థాల్మిక్లోనే కాదు, అది ఇంట్రాఆక్యులర్ ప్రెషర్ తగ్గిస్తుంది, ప్లస్ మామూలుగా న్యూరలాజికల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్లో సిఎస్ఎఫ్ టెన్షన్ రిలీవ్ చేయడానికి కూడా మెంటల్ యూస్ చేస్తారు. దెన్ న్యూరోప్రొటెక్టివ్ ఏజెంట్స్ ఆర్ కాల్షియం ఛానల్ బ్లాకర్స్, దెన్ నైట్రిక్ ఆక్సైడ్ synthase inhibitors, and then vasodilators, and also antioxidants. So ఇక్కడ dorzolamide and brinzolamide, they are the topical medications within which belongs to this class. Adverse effects include blurred vision and altered taste. Acetazolamide is administered orally, and it has a higher rate of intraocular pressure reduction when compared with topical. Natural kada manaku systemic absorption untadi kabatti that is more effectively acting. Notable adverse effects are oral therapy include electrolyte imbalance, metabolic acidosis, blood dyscrasiosis, and serious allergic skin reactions and formation of kidney stones. So ophthalmic parasympathetic sympathomimetic agents. Ophthalmic parasympathomimetic agents. So they are the topical cholinergic agonists, and they will reduce the IOP by improving fluid outflow through trabecular meshwork. Activation of M3 receptors allows for contraction of ciliary muscle fibers, which expands the pores of trabecular meshwork to enhance outflow. Ophthalmic agents within this class include carbachol and pilocarpines. Adverse effects are sweating, salivation, eye pain, blurred vision, abdominal pain, and headache. Sympathomimetics are contraindicated in those with uncontrolled asthma. Then hyperosmotic agents. So increase the osmolarity of plasma, and that leads to absorption of water from ocular tissues. So mainly vitreous fluid లో ఉన్న వాటర్ని అబ్జార్బ్ చేస్తుంది. సో విస్కాసిటీ పెరుగుతుంది. ఇండికేషన్స్ అక్యూట్ గ్లకోమా. In case of acute glaucoma, this can be used. Then secondary glaucoma, preparation of patients before theatre. So these secondary glaucoma patients will be posted for surgery for correction. Then malignant glaucomas. Adverse effects are headache, nausea, vomiting, systemic hypertension, then congestive heart failure and pulmonary edema, and finally urinary retention and hyperglycemia. These are the adverse effects. Then oral glycerols వచ్చేసి 50% solution in dose of 1.5 to 3 ml per kg body weight. Poorly penetrating into the eyes, diabetes may have problem due to caloric values and osmotic diuretics and dehydration. Mannitol, this is 20% concentration it has, and 1 to 2 grams per kg body weight, or 5 to 10 ml per kg body weight can be administered. Peak action within 30 minutes it starts action. Duration of action up to 6 hours it works. Choice of intravenous therapy. ఐవీనే మెయిన్గా ఇచ్చేది. Then neuroprotective agents are to protect the optic nerve damage by blocking the endogenous substances which may have damaging effect on ganglion cells. Then prevent neuronal degeneration and promoting the regeneration. Then endogenous substances released during glaucoma are excitotoxins and glutamate, then elevated intracellular calcium ions, then nitric acid, then free radicals. Agents that promote the regeneration includes calcium channel blockers, nitric oxide synthesis inhibitors, then antioxidants and vasodilators. Then prostaglandin analogs and beta blockers, alpha 2 agonists are reasonable choices for the first line of therapy. However, prostaglandins that once daily dose are most effective against agents for IOP, lowering and provide good 24 hours IOP control. Okay ma, this is about these drugs, medications which are used for treating these ophthalmic drugs. సో పెద్దగా టఫ్గా ఏం లేదు, వెరీ ఈజీగానే ఉంది. జస్ట్ కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ ఆన్ ఇట్ అండ్ ట్రీట్. థ్యాంక్ యూ అమ్మా.